I'm gonna go up and close and personal with an amazing friend of mine, Marrianne Iverson from the Down Syndrome Connection of the Bay Area, and Andrea Horowitz from Grateful Heart Therapy Center. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Marrianne. Thank you so much for me to interview you guys about your program about mental health. So I'm going to go straight into the first question. What inspired you to make a program based on mental health for people who are vulnerable with an extra chromosome?
So I work at the Down Syndrome Connection of the Bay Area, and my role is Director of Teens and Adult Services. So I offer supports and services to people with Down syndrome and their families. And I was receiving a lot of phone calls looking for resources and referrals to clinicians who have experience working with people with Down syndrome. And that is a very limited pool out there, if any. And so we reached out to Grateful Heart and started this relationship with them to train and support the clinicians at Grateful Heart who are open-minded and willing and wanting to work with people with Down syndrome and other intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Do you have anything you want to say?
Sure. Just as a fellow associate therapist, I was excited about the program just because I think there's just a big gap, and I myself had not had much exposure at all in my clinical training to the IDD community and literature and just the whole population. And so I felt this intrigue to not have such a separateness anymore, that why should we have that separateness? And so it's been really nice to really serve DSC clients.
Thank you so much. The next question I'd like to talk about is how was the process of getting a grant from the state to help getting mental health services for the Down syndrome population?
Well, we originally had already reached out with Grateful Heart, so we knew we had a really great, strong team to work with. So when we applied for the grant through SCDD, cumbersome grant, but worth it. And it really we were able to really jumpstart the program and get things rolling. So very grateful for that.
And then the last question I'm going to talk about is there any no-nos you would like to share about mental health today or through the pandemic?
So when you say no-nos, what do you mean by that? So
it's like a no-no, like anything that no one knows about or talks about anymore. Like I have a no-no show, and it's about learning about the no-nos in the world, and people don't talk about it. So that's what the no-no is about. So if there's any no-nos you want to share about mental health, either through the COVID-19 crisis or into today's world or in general?
A really good question. I think in general, even therapists struggle with their own sense of fear, and that's a little bit of a no-no sometimes, just to really. Oh, can you still hear me okay? My connection was unstable.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, to have fear through the time of the pandemic, and then otherwise everything else that's happening in the world, to just admit that you're fearful, even as a therapist, where you're supposed to be in this role of guiding people through their own anxieties. That is definitely a big no-no. I think, like, therapists certainly grapple with our own anxiety and like big catastrophe thinking, and even like obsessive type of thinking. Sometimes we go into that spiral too.
Marrianne, do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'm thinking, I just think probably for me, the biggest no-no is just to a very broad picture, right, of mental health is not to leave anybody out. That everybody should be included and have access to mental health.
Yeah. So thank you so much for me to interview you guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Nicole.
you.